Welcome back, everybody, here on another YouTube video. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about drainage. It is very chilly and kind of windy here on this Saturday afternoon, but just don't mind the wind blowing in the background. But today I'm going to teach you a little bit. So I spent my whole morning sighting in my rifle because farmers dislike deer for the most part. And it is almost deer season. That starts exactly a week from today. So did that all morning. Got 2 rifles sighted in. So there's the targets. I'm ready for 200 yards or shorter. But I am ready for that. It is coming up pretty quick. Bought a new rifle for it. So that is going well. But I'm going to get out to the spot and I'll teach you a little bit about tiling. Today we're going to break out the Razor. It's been a while. It's sat in the barn all fall, not been rode at all. It is very loud, so I will get back with you in just a couple minutes. That's not good. Well, I found an issue, a very common issue with old clay tiles. It means that the tile is broke underground, and there's only one thing you can do about that, and that is fix it. So here, either probably in the next month or so, this is mid-December, we'll probably get out here, start digging them all up with the excavator, and that's about the only thing you can do. So tiles are very common, especially in ground that is not flat and has low spots to it for farm ground, because that holds water very easily, and that is something that you don't want because crops can't hold that. Crops love their water, but they also love the sun and sometimes dry, especially after it rains a lot, because that can drown the plant. Plants can't withhold that much water. They can't sustain that. So also, if you're in Indiana here, where it loves to rain in the spring, and tiles can also help farmers get into the fields after it rains for so long. So I'm going to show you a little bit right here about what's going on. So right here is a hole. It just looks like a hole, but it's really not. There's a tile under there somewhere. Imagine if you went digging around down there for a little bit, you can find a tile. But this means that the tile itself has broke, and there's water coming through it out, and there's nowhere for that water to go, so it just rises up out of the ground. So when it rains the next time, which it's supposed to here tonight, that means that this tile, it'll be running water, but then it'll also be losing the water right back into the field where we're at right now with this hole. So we'll need to get this fixed here pretty soon. But when you get down there, there is probably 3 foot or so of dirt on top of it. And across this field, you can either run a tile whatever way you want, or a lot of fields you run tiles down, back, down, back, down, back, like every 90 feet across the whole field. And that is what is happened here on this farm. It is like that, except over there, because that flows into a waterway. This flows into a waterway also, but in there is a riser. I'll walk over here for you. This is where you have a good access to the tile, and this field, it is tiled through the middle. There's not tile all the way across it, because it flows in this way and it flows in this way. So the water will either run that way on that side or this way on this side. So this right here is here for a good reason. It's not just taking up farm ground for nothing, because this is here for water. It will hold water right here in some of these, And it's also the lowest point out of all of this, which means that whatever top drainage on top of the soil will drain into this. So as this waterway right here across the road, I'll go over there in just a minute, but across the road is higher than any of this, and it floats down into the middle. There is a culvert right there, and water runs through that and down through here, and whatever isn't picked up into the tile will just flow down into here and go down into the tile and drain out. So with that, let's go and get in to the UTV, and let's go right over there, and I will show you guys what's going on, how the water just flows this way. Bringing it back to deer hunting, that's where I'll be next Saturday morning. I am going to hope to get a big old buck, but that's why it's called hunting, because you don't always get something. Well, I haven't been up here in a while, but there's a big hole, as you guys can see. But that's not our property, so that's not our problem. That's their water management. So, but since this field is higher on this side, the water all flows this way because it's down in a valley right here. And you can't have that because it'll be on the road then. So there's a culvert that comes right through here, and it flows down that way. That is what that's there for. Just good water management. Get the water that doesn't need to be here out. I was hoping you could see through here, but this is what one looks like if you haven't seen one. You can see all the way to the other side, and it's covered with road. I know, that's crazy, but they're here for a reason, so gotta leave them there. But they do help the farmers a lot, and in times of need, they are very handy to get rid of water, but you don't always have one where you need it. So a lot of people try to do that. So good water management on a farm is key to growing a successful crop, because you need water, but you don't need too much water at the same time. So I will talk to you a little bit about fertilizer and manure. So this field actually was just fertilized, and then we came in and spread manure on top of it. That right there is the best thing you can do for the soil and to help a plant grow. Manure is literally the best thing that the soil can hold stability wise and actually keep it in the ground for years to come. And luckily we had enough to do the whole field, all 65 acres right here. And this next fall you will be able to see that in the yield, because over the winter when this manure is broken down and transferred from that solid form, it will eventually work its way into the soil as it snows and freezes and thaws. And that is going to build up. They're like little BBs on the soil, and that will then help the soil and help the plant grow, because it'll be releasing phosphorus and things like that into the plants, and that then will improve a yield, and it will also just improve your plant structure. Another little thing I wanted to show you guys was some wheat, and that is a very good cover crop. So I will venture my way over that way, and I'll show you a little bit about that. Before I talk about the wheat, are you really a farmer if you don't have a scrap yard along the woods somewhere behind a field? Because we sure do. I don't know about you guys, but we have anything you could think of back here. There are, I believe, 3 grain platforms, 2 discs, a field cultivator, a ripper, a chisel plow, a sprayer, a manure spreader, and a bunch of scrap. And a couch. If anyone needs a couch, it's free. But this winter wheat right here looks like grass, doesn't it? Looks like you could just mow it because it's getting too tall. But actually, no, you don't want to do that because this is a good source of income for a farmer. Wheat is very cheap to plant, but you can also make a good amount of money on it when you take it to the elevator in the summer. So winter wheat holds your soil type, and it will also prevent from erosion, and that helps out a lot because if you're a no-till farmer, you don't have to worry about big washouts in the middle of your field from draining water runoff or whatever you would say. But winter wheat will hold that, and it will also not grow during the winter, but then it'll pick back up in the spring once it starts to get warm out. You plant it right in the fall, right after you harvest, which that's what we did, because if you look in here, there's still bean stubble. So we just planted right into it, didn't work it or anything. It's not necessary. So we just plant right into it, and then you just let it sit, pretty much. So, because, I mean, you have to spray it. You can fertilize it. We always do. But you don't have to fertilize it. It will grow just like a grass. I mean, it just depends on what you want on the top of it, where the actual grain is. So, yeah, that is it, really, for today's episode. I'll come back on wheat some more in a couple videos or so from now. But for today, I appreciate y'all for watching, and hopefully it's going to rain tonight because we could use it. See you next time.